Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're diving deep into a story of, well, profound betrayal. It comes from the anchor's betrayal, a pandemic fraud tale.
Mm.
Our mission, really, is to explore how someone like Stephanie Hawkridge, a trusted public figure, could possibly orchestrate such a massive fraud. And right when the world needed trust, more than ever.
Yeah, what's really fascinating here, I think, isn't just the crime itself. It's the shattering of that image. Professionalism, service, during a time when so many people felt incredibly vulnerable.
Absolutely. Stephanie Hawkridge, she was that familiar face, right? Local news anchor. The source said she had the perfect voice, the perfect smile, sharp, confident.
Someone you'd trust.
Exactly. She really built up this persona of reliability. But here's where it gets really interesting.
Right, because while she was on air, looking professional, giving the facts, she was actually quietly plotting one of the most shocking betrayals of public trust behind the scenes.
And she wasn't alone, which just adds another layer. Her fiancé, Eric France, was involved. The source calls him a real-life Bonnie and Clyde.
But instead of bank robberies, their tools were like fake tax documents, ghost employees.
PPP loan applications, specifically. How do they manage that?
Well, this was peak pandemic time. Businesses folding, people losing jobs everywhere. They found a loophole, a way to exploit the system, specifically the federal COVID relief funds. Things like the Paycheck Protection Program, which you remember was meant to help businesses keep people employed.
Okay, so how did they actually game that system? What were the mechanics?
They set up these shell companies, businesses just on paper, no real operations.
Empty shells.
Exactly. And through those, they created fake payrolls, submitted false tax forms, made it all look legit enough to pull in over $3.5 million in relief funds.
$3.5 million, while people were struggling just to get by. So what happened to the money?
Well, it certainly didn't go to struggling employees. Hawkridge and France used it for, lavish vacations, luxury cars, real estate deals.
Wow.
All kept very quiet, under the radar. The contrast is pretty stark.
But things tend to catch up eventually. Justice did come, right? June 2025.
That's right. Hawkridge was convicted. Multiple felonies, conspiracy to commit wire fraud, money laundering.
Can you break those down? Wire fraud, money laundering.
Sure. Wire fraud basically means using electronic communications emails, transfers as part of a scheme to defraud. And money laundering is, well, making dirty money look clean, hiding its illegal source.
So they used digital means for the fraud, then tried to hide where the millions came from.
Precisely. And connecting this to the bigger picture, this wasn't just greed, it was a fundamental violation of trust. The person delivering the facts was gaming the very system meant to protect the vulnerable.
Yeah, the source really hammers this point, calling it your wake-up call.
Mm.
A reminder that behind the polish, the persona, sometimes there's a truth darker than fiction.
Definitely makes you think. And for the government, this case seems to be a real line in the sand. Estimates of total pandemic relief fraud are huge, over $200 billion.
$200 billion.
So this conviction sends a message. Accountability is coming. Stephanie Hawkridge went from being a media figure to basically a cautionary tale.
So wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you listening right now? Like the source says the camera may not lie, but sometimes the anchor does.
Yeah, it really pushes us to think about where we place our trust, doesn't it? And maybe reflect on how much could actually be hiding in plain sight, even from people we think we know. It's less about this one crime, maybe, and more about that constant challenge, discerning integrity from just a really good performance.